All right, so this devastation from Ian is a reminder of just how powerful hurricanes can be, especially when fueled by climate change. And listen, communities of color may be particularly at risk. Last fall, the EPA found that Black Americans are 40% more likely than other groups to live in places where extreme temperatures will cause more deaths. So how exactly do we make sure communities are prepared, as scientists predict climate change will make natural disasters even more intense in the future? Joining me now to discuss just that is Dr. Mustafa Santiago Ali. He's the vice president of the National Wildlife Federation and founder of Revitalization Strategies. And back with me is my good friend, LaTosha Brown. She is, of course, co-founder of Black Voters Matter Fund, and she's going to be joining the conversation as well. Dr. Ali, I'll start with you. We've heard a lot this week about how climate change is a big contributor to how intense these tropical storms are. Can you explain why, for those who aren't science-minded, why that is?
Yeah, it's very simple. That when we burn and utilize fossil fuels, it warms up both our oceans and our atmosphere. That then intensifies these various storms that we see, the hurricanes, these extreme rain events that are going on, and also the flooding. This is not new science. In 1856, Eunice Newton Pope showed that by the utilization of these types of things that we were going to face these types of situations. And of course, now the IPCC, the National Climate Assessment reports have all said that if we continue to have this addiction to fossil fuels and to burn them, then we're going to intensify the things that we see from the climate crisis.
You know, LaTosha, I wanted to have you on as a part of this conversation because when Katrina happened, nobody called you and said, hey, LaTosha, come get us. You just sprang into action and you were going back and forth trying to help the community. So you've seen firsthand what the devastation looks like, and you've been on the front lines of trying to help and save people, as you always do. Heart of the salt of the earth kind of woman you are. What does it look like for the people who are suffering? Because I always think when they say evacuate, get out, where are people going to go? Do they think about people who have no transportation, who can't afford the gas to get there, all of that?
That's exactly right. You know, there's the natural disaster that we can't do anything about, right? Yeah. Which is around the weather. Right, but then there's also a disaster, a man-made disaster, which we're talking about in climate change that's intensifying. That as the Gulf Coast becomes warmer, you're going to see more intense storms. But then there's a third disaster, which is poverty. So we've got millions of people that are living in this country that are literally vulnerable, that they don't have the opportunity or the privilege to just say. Some of them don't even have broadband service or cell phones or even ways of getting information. Many of them don't have transportation. That's what we found in Hurricane Katrina, that many people stayed in place not because they wanted to stay there and take a chance, it's because their resources or the lack of resources prevented them from doing so. And so oftentimes they're in the first line of being impacted, and it's also hard for them to recover. They're living in houses that normally, in terms of storms, they're going to be impacted in a way. They're cheap-made housing. They don't have transportation. They don't have necessary disposable resources so that they can leave. And I know people who stayed because they were afraid that if they even left, depending on their jobs, that they wouldn't be able to get back quick enough so they catch their jobs that they would lose. Wow. So we literally have to recognize that what is happening right now, as we're looking at climate change, as we're looking at these storms, that the vulnerable, that low wealth people and poor people in this country are extremely vulnerable. And that's why we need a safety net around policy, so when these things happen, that they are protected as well.
I remember you saying that water is really, you learned during Katrina, it's a hard thing to transport. Talk to us about that.
You know, it was really interesting. I did not recognize how hard it was to get water, right? And it's funny, my friend, Dr. Santiago, we worked together. We worked in the Gulf Coast region, particularly in Alabama, Mississippi, and Louisiana, just basic needs around water and cleaning supplies, and people be able to get to one place or another. You know, but something as simple as a basic need, when you don't have resources, when you don't have a network that's moving, when you are isolated, it is hard to get that simple basic need. So we have to actually recognize this is a larger issue, that while it is around the storm and the immediate need, that there's a longer term issue that is around systemic poverty that is actually exacerbating the problem.